Greetings, salutations, and other big words. My name's Ethan. My handle is Wrangler. Welcome to Frequency Studios, Weekly Wing It number 122 here on Rumble and YouTube. And starting off with us tonight, in that big box right next to me is Mr. Frederick Guimond.
Hey, foreign correspondent here from the drawing board up in Canada, soon to be 51st state. How you doing, Wrangler?
Doing all right. And how you doing, Nikolai? He's hanging out in the chat. He says, hello, everyone.
Hey, Nikolai.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty late at night for him right now. Or actually, I think early morning for him.
It's what, 7-9 hour difference, something like that?
I don't know. Yeah, it's got to be the wee hours of the morning for you, Nikolai.
Hey, sometimes that's when you need to relax and listen to
He says, yep.
a podcast.
So what you got going on that page right there?
So, yeah, I've got a couple of things here. I've got this. This is my warm-up page, which is a blue line copy of John Byrne's.
Yeah, isn't that from X-Men?
Yeah, X-Men.
That chick looks like she might be Shi'ar.
It's his Alswin story. Like, this was something he did like on the side years after, because he wasn't satisfied with the original ending and he wanted to do his own version of the ending. Because he used to draw and contribute to the plot, but Chris Claremont was the main writer, and there's also, editorial intervention. So I think he wanted to do his own take on it, and he gave it away freely on his website, his bulletin board, BBS.
All right, you have a great night, Nikolai.
Good night. Yeah, get some rest.
He waited up just to say hi to us.
That's pretty cool.
Dude's a trooper.
Yeah, he plays with you and Otter, right? He plays in
Yep.
TT tabletop games, and there's no tabletop now. The tabletop has been removed from tabletop.
The tabletop
games.
is now a computer desktop.
It's tabletopless.
I should turn on some tunes, huh?
Yeah, let's get a musical bed going. I think that's the technical term.
What was the term?
The musical bed. Just put a little tune there in the background. I've got this one here is, I don't know if you've seen this one. This is Blue Rose, a character from Patrick Quinlan's book. You've seen it.
Yes.
Of course, we did a review together. But I don't know if you've seen this particular piece. Probably.
Lady Rosa.
Yeah. So I'm getting close to done, but not done quite yet either. I got a little bit of the Plasrad effects that need to be completed, especially around the hands. This one here is not started at all, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
We still don't know what she really can do yet.
No, he's just teasing us, man. Like I asked him how
she's shown up. She's obviously got powers, but we haven't seen her put them to use quite yet.
Yeah, we just seen her flex a little bit, but nothing tangible has happened. But there's a new issue coming out. I ordered it. She's featured in it. Hopefully we'll see some action, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I got all those I just went blank. He was on your show a couple weeks ago, and he did the whole catch-up back for his series.
Oh, Aaron C?
No, not Aaron C.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember the name of it, and I'm just drawing a blank. I've been doing this way too much lately. I go to think of something, and I just go.
I watch so many shows now that it's hard to discern. It's like an abundance of information, an overwhelm. I need to go spend some time in the forest with my drawing table, with no internet. So I'm using this one to warm up.
Apollyon.
Which one?
The Apollyon series.
Oh yeah, you ordered it finally. Yeah.
Yeah. It came. He said it would come out quick, and it did. It came in a timely fashion. The very next day, the digital versions were available, and the whole setup arrived in the mail like almost a week to the day.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, you guys are lucky in the States. Here, it's like an extra week or two.
Yeah. Well, if you'd hurry up and become our 51st state, we could rope you in.
I'm doing it as fast as I can, but I need more crystals, Captain.
We'll get you quicker delivery times, you know?
Listen, I'm talking as American as I can. You know, maybe
With a
people will think they're in America.
With a Scottish accent?
Do I have a
Give me
Scottish
some
accent?
Captain.
I couldn't hold a Scottish accent very, very well.
I can't even come close to one. Whenever I've tried to impersonate any of the Gaelic accents, I ended up sounded more like a weird muddled version of an Indian accent. And I was like, well, that ain't right.
Yeah, I could do
I just
Indian.
insult everybody at once by accident. And I was like, yeah, maybe I should stop trying.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably do the Indian accent if I was just doing tech support, you know.
I used to all the time because I worked for a guy from India for years.
Oh yeah, so
I like whenever I was quoting him, I'd like to like mimic his accent. You know, actually try and do an impression of him.
Did he have a good sense of humor, or how did he take it?
I don't know. I never did it to his face. Are you crazy?
Oh man, that's funny.
No, what's funny is you know how there are multiple different languages over in India. It's not just they all speak Indian. It's
right.
Those
it's
are multiple countries over there. They all have different accents.
Same with China, right? There's different languages and different dialects in different parts of the country.
Oh, for years I worked at convenience stores.
Yeah, I did that too.
And then when I was working at Pizza Hut, I was working under somebody bought it out. It became a franchise, and they were all Indian, but from a completely different area of India.
Okay.
And this guy turned around and did an Indian impersonation right to him, and he looked right at me and says, "You sound more like a Patel," which was the last name of the guy I worked for before him.
It's funny.
Like, I guess I nailed the accent then.
That's funny.
But I didn't realize how many different accents there were until I looked stuff up because I was working on a couple of characters.
Oh yeah.
Fraternal twins, sisters, who were half Hindu, half Persian.
Okay.
So I started doing some research. You know, what areas of India have most likely have this kind of mix of background. I mean, there's a bunch of India that would have that because their backgrounds are very mixed in that region.
Gotcha.
But I ended up settling on Punjabi. But I found out there are so many different languages. These are a whole bunch of different countries. A lot of people tend to think of India as, hey, India, it's a country. No, it's a region. There's so many different countries in India.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I tried looking up the history of how everything came to the formation of today. It is as convoluted as Russia. Because Russia has a lot of mixing, matching, and swirling around different territories, fight for power before it became Russia, that there are so many little separate ethnic groups at one time there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that down in India with Hindus and Persians and
all
such a mix and so much shifting and
old maps called Russia Tartaria, like large region of Europe, like including Mongolia. Yeah, huge history.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this history. I'm like, if I had to keep track of all the little shifts and all the little nuances that led up to what we see on the map today, I think my head would explode. It's so many things, so many variables, so complex. I'm like, I am so glad we got the simple history of the United States to deal with over here. Or for you, Canada, yours is like pretty much runs in parallel with ours. So.
Well, yeah, we have the same history because we used to have
we have it easy.
The French used to have most of America at one point, and Napoleon sold a bunch of land to the U.S. during when he was doing his war over there. He needed the money, and then we shrank back to what we are today. Well, we're integrated into Canada now, but like the province of Quebec still retains its French language and its heritage.
And his poutine.
It's poutine.
Canada's most prized possession.
But that's a recent invention, and they're still not sure exactly which village it comes from, because there's two rival villages that are both making the claim. Yeah, that they invented poutine.
It is possible it happened in parallel. There could have been two different households in those two separate villages that, similar regions, simimer foods, that
sounds crazy.
Threw their own thing together.
It does happen, man. Like inventions get kind of popped up in different parts of the world at the same time during the same periods. Yeah. It's very strange.
We see that with movies sometimes. Look at Ants in a Bug's Life. Look at Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Dude, it was so confusing when the Bug's Life and Ants came out. Like, wait, are they the same one? They're different? It's like, especially I wasn't interested in either of them, so I was always confused. Like, wait, is that the same movie? I thought.
The Hedge and Fraggle Rock.
I never saw The Hedge. Oh, Hedge, how you doing?
The Hedge abideth.
What's up, man?
Oh, nothing. I'm taking shit on. Crap on X, because I'm not calling into some atheist's road show to argue something he said on X.
Oh.
I told him if he wants the time, because I wanted to come on here. If he wants the time, he can call in, schedule a date, and I'll show up.
Actually, that'd be kind of cool, because then both of you can stop, breathe, look at your notes, and have your ducks in a row for when you sit down to discuss, contrast, and compare.
Exactly.
Or as other people like to call it, arguing so you can own the chuds or whatever.
Yeah. So this kid This kid doesn't play that game. And I pointed out that as I just put up another post. As I pointed out, there's no guarantee the guy will take my call.
Yeah.
And since nobody can see it, they can't say that, or they can say that I never bothered to call in. So I'm not playing that game.
Yeah. And it seems like people have lost the ability to the fine art of disagreeing, where it's like, we don't have to convince each other, but it'd be cool to sit down and just lay out the two opposing ideas, put them side by side and compare them. You don't have to make a big heated argument out of stuff.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. It's like, I disagree a lot with Catholics. I know a lot of Mormons. I disagree with them. By and large, I never, unless somebody is like crapping on the things I believe, by and large, I don't say anything derogatory towards them. If somebody wants to be an atheist and doesn't want to believe in God, that's fine. I'm not going to sit there and preach to them, because the thing is I know after years and years of experience, you're not changing anybody's mind.
Yeah.
So if I did have a sit down with that guy, in the end, nobody's mind would be changed, because that's the way people are nowadays. People want to believe what they want to believe. So I don't care. But if he says something dumb, I'm going to jump all over him. And he said something pretty dumb. So, but I'll leave it at that.
Gotcha.
So where's Billy Bob?
Billy's taking a break.
He can't take a break.
He's been all over YouTube lately. He needs to cool his heels, I guess.
Yeah, I know. There's no break in his contract. I don't know where he's coming from with this.
He needs to suck it up.
Yeah.
There's no break on YouTube. There's no crying on YouTube.
There's no crying on.
Oh, there's plenty of crying on YouTube. People watch crying.
Well, that's mostly TikTok, right? The crying.
Yeah.
Or Blue Sky now. You're on Blue Sky, yeah.
No, I'm not.
Wrangler.
I am, yeah.
What's it been like lately? Have you gotten less politics in the mainstream, in the main feed?
I don't know because I don't just scroll through the main feed. I type in subjects that I'm interested in and find posts that are posted by people who are addressing that subject, and it's usually Metroidvanias. That's about it. I did end up chatting with a guy over there that also is an indie author. I got his book. I enjoyed it. I doubt he and I would ever want to discuss politics. I don't think we'd see eye to eye at all. But I got a kick out of his book. So, hey, cool.
Connecting on a human level, bypassing politics or religion.
Yeah, I
Controversial stuff.
somehow skidded past the politics on Blue Sky and actually talked to people. It was amazing.
You're undercover.
And you know what? It proves my theory. People are people.
Yeah.
I remember when I first said I got a Blue Sky account. I think it was Maji went, what? Just squawked real loud. What?
Yeah,
It's
we.
like, why'd you do that? It's like,
We all had that
stay by books
reaction.
too.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do is post my books up there, and people who
Have you made
are
a
on
sale
there looking for
through
books
Blue
might
Sky?
see it and happen to buy one and like it.
Have you made a little bit of promotion, or have you gotten a sale from Blue Sky so far?
No, I post on there even less than I do on Twitter, so
Oh, okay.
I don't maintain good social media engagement, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Otter got me motivated. I think I spent 3 days consistently posting. I'm like, hey, I'm starting to see more stuff happen just out of this. I need to keep it up. And then I woke up one day, I was like, can't think of anything about, I got to go to work. Get home. Oh, I got to do that. Oh, I got to do that. And then, it's been a few weeks I haven't posted.
Yeah, it is a constant kind of publication, constant stream of content. Otter's got it down. I think he does this stuff at night for the next day, and then he's
Yeah.
He schedules it.
I
Yeah.
think he hand publishes it like every hour, so it's not automatically scheduled, but he drafts them ahead of time still.
But yeah,
X.
he's got a schedule laid out for when he releases things on X. Just for regular, could just be, all right, I'm going to do a meme at this time, share a post at this time, interact with this many people at this time, and there's something like that. And he's built up a presence just doing that.
Oh yeah,
It helps when you have something interesting to say,
I mean
And
sometimes
Otter
it's-
usually has something interesting to say.
sometimes it's just cute Otter in photos and play on words. It's not always like super thought out or thought through. But I see posts of him like a dude 4 or 5 times a day. Like he's got a regular stream of. You cannot spend a day without thinking of Otter if you're going on Twitter. He's always
Yeah.
there.
And I got to learn to do that if I actually ever want to move any books.
I got to do that too. Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
one of those guys who thought, you know what? It doesn't matter. I don't have to have a big personality or anything like that. If I write a book and the product is good, it'll make it on its own merits. And then I saw good movies utterly fail because of shitty marketing. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe that sheer make it on its merits is kind of naive of me.
Yeah, I mean, if your book's a great book, it's going to have longer legs, but you still have to get that first initial reader.
Yeah.
Even if you have the most viral thing in the world, you still have to sell it at least to one person.
Yep.
But I mean, I think we got a good community now. There's a lot of people streaming, a lot of smaller creators who have shows who are willing to help people out. It seems more approachable than it did like 10 years ago on the internet.
Oh, by far. Speaking of cool stuff coming out, what you got going on, Herman?
Hang on. Say it again. Speaking of stuff I got going out. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm responding. I'm responding to the to the deluge of the gremlins that have found my address, because I won't go on this guy's, because I won't call into this guy's show. So, but what have I got going on?
Wants you to call in so bad?
Because I told him I wouldn't. I said if he wants to have me on his show, because he contacted me. I didn't do it the other way around. If he wants to have me on his show, call me, contact me, and we'll schedule a time.
You know what they used to say the sexiest word in Hollywood was?
What?
No.
Yeah. So, but yeah, my audiobook is finally available on Audible. So, The Revenant and the Cult Book 2 is you can get it through Audible now.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to advertise that. I'm still fuming over that. 3 freaking months.
What was the holdup about?
Well, according to the people that I distribute through, Amazon got a deluge of got a huge backlog of stuff they needed to get out there, and I'm like, oh, so it's probably a bunch of AI generated stuff, and they probably have to go through each of them and either pass or deny. I don't know, but it probably has something to do with either they have an AI process going through this stuff and it's not working well, or they're getting flooded by AI generated stuff. Like I said, this is just me. This is me. Why are there 2 of you? Anyway, this is just me, speculating. I don't know for a fact.
I wonder if the AI readers will do special favors for the AI writers, like AI nepotism or something.
Yeah. Hey, buddy.
We're
Written by the same developer.
Regardless.
Written by the same developer.
I totally love what you're writing, man. It's exactly what I would have written.
There's 2 of me because I put on weight and I need 2 slots now.
You got Wrangler's account and his cat's account. So that's just Wrangler and his cat. You should call the second one Wrangler's cat.
Yeah, the other one is the dwarf that I play on the weekends in Otter's game.
So
at least it's finally at long last available.
yeah, I also did some. I also started looking into trying to see if I can get my book into some indie bookstores. So I sent out a bunch of emails this weekend, of which I don't think I'll see any of them respond, but you give it a try. But I did notice that that all of them, there was like a common theme, is that all of them had some sort of service that linked them to Libro FM. Huh. And then I'm like, I've known that my stuff goes to Libro FM. I just never knew what it was, and I never got any money from it. So it's like, but it's like my audiobook goes out to a lot of places and I don't get money from it. So like I'm on audiobooks.com, and there's like a bunch of them that, that have names. I don't know what they are. But I never seem to get any money from any of these. And so it's like, it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, okay, well, whatever. It's just another outlet that I don't get money from. But I noticed that every single one of these independent bookstores had like some sort of Libro FM connection. So then I went and I did some, I posted something on a group forum, and people who knew more about it than I did, pointed out that Libro FM does like some sort of affiliate thing where if they buy it through your store, you get a chunk of the sale. So if you want to support your local indie bookstore and they have Libro FM, you can get my books through that, and you don't have to do Audible.
Oh,
And
cool.
my stuff goes up on Libro FM a lot faster than freaking Audible, apparently. So,
Apparently, it goes up on everything quicker than Audible at this rate.
yeah.
How you
Yeah,
doing, Maji?
Hey, Maji.
Hey guys, how are you?
She snuck in on us.
She doesn't make a lot of noise when she comes in. She's very quiet.
Because I don't like to interrupt you guys talking. I know I have a 2-second delay compared to everyone else, so I'd rather not be an asshole unless it's unintentional.
Wouldn't you rather be, if you're going to be an asshole, wouldn't you rather be intentional than unintentional?
I don't know. I kind of like leaving people guessing.
I tried doing the same thing, Herman. I found out about a indie bookstore in the area. So I went in there to talk to them. And just the guy at the counter said, I'm not the buyer. I can't have that conversation with you. But I can point you to the website, and there's a thing on there for submission. So I got home, went on the website, and it said, if you're published through Ingram Spark, then good news. You should be all set and easy to get your books in here, because there was a whole section for indies there. It says, if you look up your book and it says email for price, that means you have to go back to Ingram Spark and allow
Returns.
bookstore. Yeah, allow returns. I'm like, I thought
That
I
ain't
did. So I went to Ingram Spark, and it is set up for returns, but it was telling me according to the bookstore, it ain't. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
The more I do this, the more I realize I don't know what the heck I'm doing on these publishing platforms. I don't know these user interfaces as well as I thought I did.
The thing you have to be careful about with doing the returns is that can end up costing you a lot of money, which is the reason why I'm trying to do deals with some of these local indie bookstores where I'm the one who distributes the book, and that way I can control the return process. Because what happens is that there's two different types of returns. If the bookstore doesn't want it anymore, it either gets returned to you.
Yep, and I got to pay for them.
And you got to pay for it, or it gets returned to Ingram, which you got to pay for it. So not only are you buying back, not only do they buy the books and you have to buy the books back, now you're getting nailed with shipping as well. So if your books don't sell, you're going to be taking a financial hit.
Yeah, and the only other option is destruction. You still got to pay for the books, but your books are getting wrecked, and you're just not paying for shipping to have them come back to you.
Exactly.
And nobody wants to have their books wrecked.
Exactly. So that's the reason why I always do keep shipping off, because I don't want to have to deal with that. You can get in. I've heard horror stories about people getting in way over their heads with the shipping thing, and then so I keep the shipping off, and then I'm trying to do deals directly where I can control the whole shipping and returns thing.
Yeah, the problem is that's not an option here. You got to do it through their website, through Ingram, or not at all, apparently. So
yeah, so in that case, I would just pass.
That's what I did.
Pass.
Snow talks about she's actually made a couple of comments on it about a bookstore in Austin called Book People that she works with, and she loves them. It's apparently the biggest independent bookstore in Austin, or even Texas. I'm not entirely sure, but R.H. Snow loves working with them, so you might want to talk to her and see what she does.
Yeah. Remember, I'm in a completely different region.
No, but I'm just saying she might know a few things about that we, well, when I say we, I mean you guys. I have no clue. Shoot.
I have no doubt she would probably be far superior in going in and sweet talking folks, but
by the way, if anyone's in Austin, check out Book People. Highly recommended by R.H. Snow.
And it's Gino.
What's Gino?
Oh, that's interesting. The sound is not going through my headphones,
Uh-oh.
but the
Oh,
music.
Gino.
You just
How you
have to
doing?
scream real loud.
Gino. Hi, Gino. You're using your unicorn avatar. I haven't seen that in ever.
I can sort of hear what you're saying. I just gotta figure this out.
Yeah, it might be me. I have my brother's playing some kind of music in the background. I keep muting so it doesn't pick up on the mic, but unfortunately, my house is paper thin walls and my mic is really good.
All right, so you know all the backlash Nintendo's been getting lately, right?
No. Tell us.
I know a lot of people are not happy.
Yeah. I mean,
Why? What is this backlash you speak of?
game prices being way too high. There are
Oh.
also people arguing over the price of the console. Personally, I think the console price is all right.
Console
I
price is
know.
the average price of an Xbox and a PlayStation. That's not the problem. It's the $90 games.
Yeah. Well, $80. The 90 was
$80 the digital.
elsewhere.
90
Other
is the
regions.
physical.
No, that's not in the U.S. 80 for physical or digital here in the U.S. But you know, and the thing is, there were other things going around we addressed last week that things were misunderstood, and Nintendo not being transparent or addressing these things just allowed those misconceptions to fly, which did not help their case. There's a
I'll be
couple
right
things
back.
that's like, oh, it's not the crap we thought it was. With the game prices, that's exactly what it looks like. It's way too much for the game price. But you know, other things were going around, and their inability to be transparent allowed these things to fester and run out of control. And I just thought it was kind of weird. They just dropped on their YouTube channel. Where is it here? Let's do that one. They just dropped this on their YouTube channel.
When you decide to step up to this kind of power, this kind of challenge, this kind of flying, crashing feeling,
I have the
when you
minis.
decide to get serious, there's only one place to come: the games of Super Nintendo. No one else creates this kind of experience, because no one else creates these kinds of games. Now you're playing with power, superpower.
It was such a weird thing watching that commercial, because on one hand, that was hitting like right in the that was hitting the nostalgia bit right there. It's like, the good old days. And as soon as I started thinking that, I immediately thought, why do I feel like I'm being manipulated?
Because you are.
I wonder if it's their way of trying to remind people of how expensive Nintendo games were originally.
No, but seriously, it's like, are you trying to like? It's like they pissed off their customer base, and then that comes out, and I'm imagining this couple that had some big blowout fight where one screwed up real bad and the other comes up. Remember this? Remember that? And starts trying to go over all the old times to butter them up.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That's the image I got in my head. I'm like,
They're trying to make you
guys.
forget that they told you if you can't afford one, buy a Switch 1.
yeah, I still cannot believe that they said that. I mean, at first when I heard that, I didn't think anything of it because I was like, that's exactly what I'm doing is I'm sticking with the Switch. Hey, wait a second. You know, that's
That
kind of
was,
insulting.
That was Ant-Man as well, like a younger version of Ant-Man playing those video games in that commercial.
Was that Paul Rudd?
Yeah. Am I mistaken? It's just seemed obvious to me.
Well, it could be. It might be. Damn. Might have to look it up.
Yeah, that very well could be.
Are we gonna EFAP a old '90s Nintendo commercial?
There you go. This recognizable smile there.
Yeah, that does kind of look like him.
A younger version. Yeah.
I'd say it is.
They must have de-aged him.
No, his face looks pretty much the same. Just the hair that's different.
It's just a hair.
Little more hair than what we're used to seeing.
Yeah. It was the 90s.
Hey man, don't knock the 90s. That was a great year. Or a great decade.
Why?
I think '80s was peak, '90s was fun, but we were starting to see it come apart, and then it came apart.
90s was definitely backslide.
Yeah, but 90s comics, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
not like Psylocke, the character Psylocke. '90s Psylocke is peak Psylocke.
90s
Sev-
X-Men.
70s was better.
Well, yeah, but 70s is harder to find.
You know, the thing is, if you go to these Comic Cons, I mean, you won't get like the best comics out there. You know, like as far as quality, but you'll get, you know, you can pretty much find whatever you want. So, like I've picked up like a Tales from the Crypt there that caught my eye. I picked up a couple of Conan the Barbarians. So.
My favorite ones to go to are the fan expos. Those ones tend to be the more fun ones.
Yeah, I wish we had more of those around here.
Oh, the Salt Lake City Fan Expo? 100%. I would pick that over Emerald City and Seattle Comic Con any day.
It's not as good.
What are you talking about? I prefer that over the friggin' crazy fest that's here.
Well, yeah, but that's not saying much.
But you
It's
think
not-
Seattle being bigger would have a much cooler Comic Con? No, you're lucky if they're dressed.
Yeah, but it's not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, I haven't been in a few years, but when I would go, man, oh, it was amazing. It was a lot of fun.
Well, they got rid of the guy that would actually treat the vendors with dignity and respect, so it's kind of crap now.
Okay, so when I went, it was like the most rockin' the cons in the West.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of saying that '90s comics are peak comics, but that's probably because I only think that because that's when I was reading the comics. But I didn't read them in the '80s. Definitely wasn't reading them in the '70s.
I was reading some in the 80s, but it was like G.I. Joe, Star Wars.
I was watching the cartoon shows.
Also, but I had the comics. I was living on a military base, so you could bet they had G.I. Joe comics.
I wish they would release physicals of all the like a master pack of all the ones Chuck Dixon's been doing at the Medal of Honors. Those are so hard to find.
Actually, it was the X-Men cartoon that got me picking up comics.
So, as a promotion for the U.S. military, Chuck Dixon's been working on for a few years now. That you can only get really during certain times of the year. The stories, like he'd go and actually write the comics of how they got the Medal of Honors.
Oh,
I wish they would I really, really wish they'd put them all together and make it so we could all buy them.
That just
But-
sounds awesome.
Yeah, no, it's
These
really
are-
cool.
these
I've
are
only
your
seen
biographies,
pictures on
right?
the internet of them. You know, sometimes you can get a full one that you can read. And like I said, the Army gives them out for free as recruiting, but they are still impossible to get a hold of.
Probably because they're good, so people aren't giving them away or selling them.
Well, it is Chuck Dixon we're talking about, so yeah, it's probably going to be good.
But yeah, no, it's. I wish I could get a hold. I would actually pay for those And I bet you if they did it, the military could earn some of their money back.
Raven Nevermore hopped in the chat. He says, "All hail the fellowship. I'm working tonight. Price of gold is going up." If you ever want to know where precious metals is at, ask Raven. I think he senses it at this point, like a spidey sense. He knows his precious metals. Oh yeah, so I should probably mention it now. We're doing tonight, obviously. We're going to be doing next week, and then after that, Wing It is going on a month or two hiatus.
Got some things you got to do?
Yeah, but it will be back.
I'm glad I got on tonight.
Yeah, me
It
too.
might be a little more
sadly, work-
organized when it comes back. I don't know.
Sadly,
We're gonna
work,
have
makes it
contestants
impossible
and
to get
game
on.
prizes.
Yeah, we're going to bribe people to watch.
You know what sucks, Liz? I was gonna do stream tomorrow of the reaction to the Oblivion remastered from Elder Scrolls 4. See if I want to actually get it or not.
Oh.
But I have a meeting with Daniel, and I don't want to reschedule it.
Oh.
So that's a no go.
Yeah,
You're gonna say date there, weren't you?
there's
No.
a pretty good chance I might be contacting him in the next few months. I am beating my head against some brick walls.
Yeah, do it. I actually recommend it.
Did you hear that? Maji just wants you to hit your head against brick walls.
No.
That's messed up,
Yeah.
man. Messed up.
Damn.
Yeah, but it's probably endlessly entertaining. She's got her popcorn ready and everything.
You guys remember the TV show Wings?
Hang on,
Yeah.
guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a skit in there where they talked about a game called Find the Stud. Have you ever heard that?
Yes, I
No.
remember this episode.
Run headfirst into the dry wall. Whoever
Yep.
finds the stud first loses.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and at the end, somebody got frustrated, bent over, and charged at the wall, put their head in. I think it was the mechanic. What was his name? Lowell, was it? Look, you heard the crunch off screen, and
Yeah.
Lowell standing in the doorway. He leans over, looks down, looks back through the door, goes, "Ooh, stud."
That's not good.
It's like the only thing I remember about that show.
I had forgotten that show existed.
That's the funny thing. I watched it pretty religiously, and I don't remember anything about it.
You know what show I've been having a hard time finding the complete series of is the
Sledgehammer.
WCP Cincinnati, the radio one.
Oh, I remember that. I used to watch that when I was a little kid. I was
Oh, WKRP.
That
Yeah,
one, yeah.
Real
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it on Amazon once for the complete series, but they wanted like almost $200 for it, and I said, "No, I'm good."
Lonnie Anderson made it real easy to watch.
I could probably find it. You already have a whole show to watch anyways.
Oh yeah, no, I am having a blast with that. I don't know why I've never heard of this. It's got to be a BBC show.
It is.
That explains a few things. No,
It tells you
it's
that at the
called
end
the
every
IT
time.
Crowd. Oh my gosh, it's like hilarious. It's like early nerd computers and stuff. You could kind of see where Big Bang Theory got a little bit of their influence in the show, man.
No, because it's actually good. And you haven't even gotten to the good ones like the friend face one and the D&D one.
Yes, my nerd's showing.
Switch from one Chill Kid tune to another.
Seamlessly.
I think this one is still my favorite from all of his tunes. Well, I mean, next to my theme song, of course. I might be a little biased on that one.
Oh, speaking of, today is Daniel's birthday, so you guys should harass him.
Oh. He wouldn't happen to have a stream going anywhere tonight, would he?
Probably not. I left a message on X, Facebook, whatever, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it.
They still do Iron Age nights, right?
They do. They moved it to a bi-weekly thing where they do an interview beforehand. They're trying to get this new,
pre-recorded, right?
yeah, they're trying to get the new format, but it's not getting much traction. I've actually been making the shorts for them, but yeah, no goes there.
Yeah, it was
Pat's
kind of
too
tough,
expensive.
seeing how that whole show was built off the live interaction.
Mm-hmm. They're trying. They're trying to make it work.
And Royce is just his own X factor. You know, when you put him on a screen, it's tough to not engage. You know.
He's a good master of ceremonies, and the way he was poking at the chat, he was letting the chat make fun of him. He had a good dynamic for a long time.
And then he was no more.
Oh, he's not no more. He's making smokers.
Yeah, he's busy screwing up his welding jobs.
He'll be back. They all come back. Or maybe not.
I could see him standing next to a smoker, but he's the one who's like, smoke's rising off his body. Like, I think it's done.
Hey, Frederick,
Yeah.
if you put a couple of numbers in those little holes, you could have a color by numbers thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's,
felt that a couple times already.
Yeah, it's like if you see this number here, you have this disease. Yeah.
Oh, I
You
have
can
seen
make
those.
a bingo card out of it now, huh?
That's kind of a Kirby Crackle, kind of a twist on things, Plasma effect.
Yeah, let's look up some plasmoids and see we can find some of the
It's-
ones that inspired you.
Yeah, man, it's fascinating. I found my source on Google Images. I just tapped plasma or plasma effects or something, and I just picked out like the best ones and kind of. That's why I made kind of a net.
So it's a
net
plasma
wall.
ball.
Well, one of it is a net wall that she's generating from her fist, and the other one's kind of an explosion she's prepping up there. It's a little bit of both.
Yeah, they'll tell you that plasma balls are a thing of fiction. Because it's never been shown, but,
Well,
I don't
And what do you call this?
well, an actual plasma ball is a,
Oh, you mean
Like-
like a plasmoid?
yeah, like a in arc of lightning that travels through the air. But there have been people who have claimed to have seen them, so.
Well,
They
well,
do
yeah, it's
happen.
called
They're
ball-
just extremely rare.
it's called
Usually
ball
after a
lightning.
freak storm.
Yeah, and then there's a theory that instead of a black hole at the center of the galaxy, what it is a giant toroidal plasmoid, and is powered by Birkeland currents.
Hmm.
Which makes more sense to me. I cannot begin to tell you if EU theory is valid or not. I'm not that smart, but I find it easier to comprehend than relativity. Because I mean, what is a black hole? What is it? If you crunch something down to a dense enough point, it becomes black hole material. What's that called? The Schwarzschild radius or something?
Yeah, you're talking about a singularity.
Yeah.
When the force, the density becomes basically infinite. And
Yeah,
so-
and they said that that point does exist. Like if you compressed Earth down to a certain size, you would cross that radius, and it would become a black hole. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because you still have the same amount of mass as when it was just the Earth. It's just much smaller. So wouldn't the gravitational pull be the same?
Yes,
kind of.
I made an executive decision.
What's up, Kahuna?
You know, Kahuna should be on here.
Hey,
Hey, Kahuna.
Maybe we should shame him.
he
into coming on.
actually remembers who we are. What the hell? I thought he forgot
Yeah.
about us and ascended on high.
No,
And if he does- and if
I'm
he
going to be
does
on his
show
show
up-
tomorrow. After my show, I'm going on the Iron Seas.
Exactly. He's forgot about us little people.
And if you do show up, Kahuna, please show up fully clothed. Thanks.
No.
No, here's the
Against
character
the
he's
signature.
currently playing in Otters, Castles, and Crusade game.
He's already admitted he likes semen, so.
They actually came out with that character. Believe it or not.
For what?
For Dungeons and Dragons, they made an Old Spice character.
Did
And
they
weren't the only
really?
ones- Yeah, they did it, and I believe it was Wendy's that also made D&D characters. I have them on my laptop somewhere. Science theory makes you angry? What the frick is a science theory?
Yeah, I think that's like when we nerds call any form of baseball, soccer, all that. We just call it all sports ball.
Yeah.
I think that's a jock's. We say quantum theory, string theory. He just says science theory, like we say sports ball.
I would equally make fun of a nerd that calls something sports ball, so sure. Okay.
I'll call it sports ball.
Nerd.
Just because I think it sounds funny.
Doesn't that come from the the British TV show IT Crowd?
Yep.
Or they had a
The
meme
sports
from
ball?
it.
Oh, now
Maybe
that
not
makes
sports
a lot
ball
more sense.
specifically, but there was a meme about, hey, did you catch that ludicrous display last night? So
Oh,
they
okay, that
fi-
episode.
Yeah,
that
because they.
episode- Yeah, I can tell you exactly. I know this one by heart.
Go ahead.
That episode, the Indian guy, Moss, he has an app on his computer that lets him speak Cockney to the postal guy so he can, have a conversation with him. So it has a pronunciation guide and everything. It's a really good episode. It's called Are We Not Men?
Kahuna
Yeah.
says theoretical science stated and treated as proven fact to make claims about existence, the universe, and how it all works. Yeah, I get you there because we say a lot of things. By we, I mean in general society, like in the generally accepted theories on things are all stated as proven fact, and it's about a lot of things we can't go out there and actually prove. For example, black holes. I mean, we have all these ways we claim to observe it and stuff, but
Yeah, because I
Have
heard
we
the black holes
proven
were
they
kind of
exist?
black holes were a necessity to explain other problems in their
like not enough gravity to hold
their
together.
formulas. So there must
Well,
be this, or that's why our
Okay,
formulas don't work.
that is true and that is not true. See, this is why I have a problem with what Kahuna is saying. There is theoretical science, yes, that is true. But there is also science that has been tested over and over again that at this point, yes, it's fact. I don't care what anyone else wants to say. It is fact. It's been proven.
Yeah,
Now,
if you
the black
drop
hole
an
thing,
apple, it will fall.
yeah, what you're talking about, the black hole thing, the math said it kind of necessitated that there had to be black holes. But originally, Einstein did not believe in that stuff. So he actually disproved himself, if you want to put it that way, and came up with a completely different theory to explain gravity and theoretical physics. That's where you get the aether that he used to explain the extra mass in the universe that he couldn't explain with dark matter and dark energy.
But the aether isn't enough on its own to do that, unless it's
Well, we've pretty much proven that thing is completely
unless it
bunk.
has a particular charge, and electromagnetics does make more sense in my brain. I'm not saying that's correct and true, but that I do tend to lean more toward those explanations just because I can comprehend them better.
Yeah. Well, this is where you're
What's
talking
up,
about
Lou?
actual theoretical stuff.
Don't destroy some of the theories that I'm using in my books. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh no, you can totally destroy electric universe theory. I'm still going to use her in the book.
Stop!
It's
Stop!
I think Hedge is being the voice of NASA right here. Don't disprove my books.
Hey, we,
Better be careful or I'll go to USAID again.
we already found out all you need to be an astronaut is to go into space for 10 seconds and then come back down, and you're good.
And oh, don't forget, sing a song while you're up there.
By the way, why is this so focused on? I mean, it's cool. The chicks went on a space ride real quick. Why is this such big talk? I don't understand.
You know why? Because it's DEI bullshit. That's why.
It was just a plane ride. What do you mean?
It's a stunt. It's a media stunt. Like
Exactly.
they opened the door from the inside and they told them to close it. No, not now. Like our boss is to come back with the wrench and look strong. You know, it's like okay.
Yeah, they screwed up the presentation, but I mean, it doesn't change the fact they went on a glorified plane ride. I mean,
What am
I don't
probably
understand why so many people are paying so much attention to this.
You know what it reminds me of? You remember in the really low grade carnivals, usually what was like state fairs, there was the giant alien ship ride that would fly up and down and you had no gravity because you were going so fast? That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Well, they did literally leave the atmosphere, so we'll give them a little bit of credit, but still.
Yeah, but it was a plane ride, pretty much.
The reason it's in the news so much is because Wendy's pretty much just owned Katy Perry. That's why.
Eh.
Oh,
I've
come on.
noticed that
Tweets have been
whoever
hilarious.
runs Wendy's' X page usually runs whoever they want, or is usually really good at trolling, just so they can get more publicity.
Oh yeah,
And
they're
it
great.
works because it's free publicity.
I hope they're getting well paid because they do have a great job.
They had a Wendy's
At
in
a wrench.
they had a Wendy's in El Salvador when I went to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, should have checked in, but
Was it called Wendy's?
yeah, they have a Wendy's, they have a McDonald's.
Or was it called Love Wendy's?
Why would it be called La Wendy's?
Yeah, it would be La Wendia.
You're thinking of France. It would be El Wendy.
No, it would not
No,
be a man. It would be La Wendia.
El Wendy would be if Wendy was a dude, but it's a
Yeah,
chick, so
exactly.
it's La
Oh,
Wendy.
it's the same in Spanish as in French? Oh, that makes sense.
Yes,
Well, they're both Latin languages.
exactly.
You'll probably find a lot of overlap. Think about it.
Probably not so much with Quebecois though.
Ami or amigo.
I mean, yeah, Quebecois is French. It's the same language. Just
Yeah,
different
the French
regional-
don't think so.
What do you mean?
Then there's Portuguese.
They
and
make
there's
fun of your
Italian, and-
Quebecois. Of course, it's the same for the Spanish people and like Mexican Spanish. Like they make fun of each other. Listened to an argument between a Mexican and an Argentinian about the right way to speak Spanish, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, see, moral of the story, no matter where in the world you go, people are just going to make fun of each other. No matter what.
It was kind of my fault too, because I asked them how to say, I think it was umbrella in Spanish, and apparently they both had a different word.
Yeah, that's the thing with Quebecois and French. We use like the same level of English words, but we use the different English words that they do. So our languages overlap less and less, but it's because we integrate English differently than they do. Like they will station in a parking and we park in a stationnement, right? So it's the opposite choice of English to use.
Well, not only that, but think about it. If you want to go be an exchange student in Australia, you have to take English as a foreign language because the English between the US and Australia are completely different, even though it's the same damn language.
Yeah, well, here's an example. Here in America, we say elevator. In England, they'll say lift.
Right,
Now,
you guys say cigarettes, and what do they say?
Yeah, you can't say that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. Nah,
Well, I
no.
had a guy from Brazil I was working with for a little bit. He stayed at my place while he was here in the U.S. And he learned to speak English from the British.
Oh,
So he was here in the U.S., but he had his Brazilian accent, which was already muddled because he liked learning different languages.
Mhm.
And he went to ask which way to get to the elevator. So he walked up to a counter and said, "Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the lift?" And they're like, "The what? The lift. The lift." Because he's saying lift, but the I sounds like E from what he's used to at the time. He wasn't as fluent quite yet. So he's saying lift, but it's coming out lift. And here in America, we say elevator. So the person who was asking had no clue what he was talking about.
Well, it's like, when they're talking about a loo in England, how the hell are we supposed to know that's a toilet?
Because I watch a lot of BBC.
Because of TV.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. But if you're not a BBC fan,
Aficionado.
I hope you pay your BBC license.
By the way, Fu filled in the word for you there, Frederick.
Vegas. Have you seen that YouTube sketch of the Scottish people with the voice-activated elevator?
No.
Oh, for that. That'll give you a laugh. I gotta find that.
I mean, just thinking about it is hilarious, but yeah, you gotta pull it up now.
Let's see, what do we got here?
All right.
I've never played the game this comes from, but I do like the tune. So, Pillars of Eternity soundtrack, Elm Shore.
It's a good game.
Billy Bob threw this one in here. Not familiar with the game, but I do like this tune.
There you go. There's your Scottish lift. It's 3 minutes and 45 seconds. For anybody that
nice.
wants to watch it.
It's in the private chat, Wrangler, if you want to.
Oh, if you want to watch it here.
I mean, I hope we don't get flagged. It's not something that gets flagged.
Is it coming through? Hang on.
Seems to be. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I didn't know if it was. I don't have I only have this tab. I can't get to the others at the moment, so I wasn't sure.
Seems good.
What's the buttons?
Oh no, they installed voice recognition technology in this lift. I heard about this.
Voice recognition technology in a lift in Scotland. You ever tried voice recognition technology?
No.
They don't do Scottish accents.
11.
Could you please repeat that?
11.
11. 11.
11.
Could you please repeat that?
11.
Whose idea was this? You need to try an American accent. 11. 11.
That sounds Irish, not American.
No, doesn't it? 11.
Where in America is that? Dublin.
I'm sorry. Could you please repeat that?
Try an English accent, right? 11. 11.
You for the same part.
He's going his whole shoulder into it.
Listen, yours in smart ass.
Please speak slowly and clearly.
Smart ass.
11.
I'm sorry. Could you please repeat that?
11. If you don't understand the lingo, away back came to your own country.
Ooh, is that talk now, is it? Away back to your own country.
Oh, don't start, Mr. Bleeding Heart. How can you be racist to a lift?
Please speak slowly and clearly.
11.
I think we've all been here
You know,
with technology.
This is how I feel every time I get those automated answering services when I call a place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
now this is how I feel using
11.
speech to text.
11. 11.
You're just saying it the same way.
You want to keep saying it until I understand Scottish, all right? 11. 11. 11.
I was waiting for an update.
I'll just say his head.
He's just a really big fan of Stranger Things, apparently.
Oh man.
Anywhere you cow. Just not on the doors.
This is a voice-activated elevator. Please state which floor you would like to go to in a clear and calm manner.
Calm. Calm. Where's that coming from? Why is it telling people to be calm?
Because they knew they'd be selling this to Scottish people who'd be going up for nuts at it.
You have not selected a floor.
How do they get out?
We have 11!
If you would like to get out of the elevator without selecting a floor, simply say, "Open the doors, please."
Please, please, suck my wally. I'm not begging that for nothing.
Open the doors, please. Please.
Pathetic.
Please remain calm.
Hey, just wait for it to speak.
You have not selected a floor.
You don't answer these doors. I'm going to come to America. I'm going to find whatever desperate actress gave you a voice, and I'm going to go to like
Hey,
jail for you.
Scotland, you bastard!
Scotland!
Scotland!
Scotland! Freedom!
That's funny.
Freedom!
Oh, you'd like that one.
Hey, Christina in the
catch
chat.
up with the chat.
Oh, did she finally get it here?
Kahuna says, "Why are these sheep lovers wearing suits instead of kilts?" Fu says the lift sounds exhausted. Christy's joined us. How's it going, Christy?
At that point, I'd take the stairs. Damn.
Yeah, that's
They have
where
some,
AI's going, right?
They have some very interesting ways of saying things over there. Like, you probably didn't notice it, but he said, he doesn't say cannot, he says kenne for cannot. It's very interesting.
Yeah, when I wrote the Shalar story, I remember in the forum, Daniel P. Riley was in the conversation, and I said, I hope I didn't like do the Irish accents in a cringe way. And Daniel popped in there and said, "How many apostrophes did you use?" And I answered, "All the apostrophes," because I don't think I overplayed the Irish in the way I was writing the words, but who knows? I'm not Irish, and if somebody who actually does speak with the Irish brogue would look at it and go, "Oh, this is horrible." You know, I hope that's not the case, but you never know.
The fun thing about Irish is the way they spell some things. Like, if you ever saw the word Siobhan, holy frick. It's a very popular name, but good luck spelling it.
I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to ask Google. Because if I ask Google, it'll say, "A chevron is this symbol in the military on their shoulder." No.
Or a gas station.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I haven't seen a Chevron gas station in years.
I might be able to spell it if I remember correctly. Let's see. I believe it's Siobhan.
Here's one for you. How do you spell Samhain?
What's the language?
One of the Celtic ones. But yeah, Herman already got it right.
It's spelled Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain.
There's a few words in French like that you can't guess the spelling.
I still don't understand the purpose of the H existing at all in the Spanish alphabet.
Well, here's the other thing too. Yeah, I always find it interesting when they do these translations. You know, where they say, this translates to this word. When the word, or the actual phonetics of the word, don't match the actual sounds of the original word, and it's just like, how did you come up with this? That is Samhain. It's not Samhain. Samhain would be S-A-U Samhain, H-I-N. Not Samhain.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's all about the etymology of the word.
Yeah, but I always found it curious. If you look at Spanish and look at their phonetic rules, the H is always silent in most cases. If you
You should
remove
have
the letter
Kahuna
A
discuss
from the
talking
Spanish alphabet
Hawaiian.
entirely, it changes nothing. Absolutely nothing. So why is it there?
Well, it's probably left over from like the ancient. Like, if you ever looked at Old English, there's a lot of stuff that we kind of understand, but it would just sound weird. But we still get the basic gist of what they're saying.
Yeah, I think if we go back in time, I think we can make it to about early 1600s, late 1500s before we start going, I'm sorry, I don't know anything you're saying anymore.
Yeah, there's a guy I watch on YouTube. He's a linguist, and he just released a video not that long ago where he went to a Finnish country, I think it was, that was so close to Old English that the English people could understand them. And so he went there and
Is it a British guy living in Germany?
I'm not sure where he lives because he goes all over and just does all sorts of languages. The man can pick up a language in like 5 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember hearing something about that where I think there's also a place in England where they still speak Old English. Or mostly Old English. It's kind of like a pidgin, Old English, New English.
Cornwall? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Kahuna, I saw
Cornwall?
that was hilarious.
Cornwell. Like, we're gonna get some English people sending us nasty letters.
So you're probably thinking of someone different than I'm thinking of. There's a guy I like to sometimes watch who is something words, and he's an English guy, and he goes over a lot of things of the English language. He's got a video called "The Great Vowel Shift," and very much an etymologist, but I think he just works mainly in English. But he goes over like the ruins of what our language used to operate on, and he actually had a video that I loved. It's like things we need to stop harping on in the English language, and he's going over things that everyone calls rules of English that aren't really rules, but they become so accustomed to them that we think it's got to be that way. And one of the ones he said is, there's nothing wrong with ending a sentence with a preposition. Mm-hmm. And he went over where this came from, found the source of one guy who said it was his opinion that we shouldn't do that, and it became somehow a rule that was taught for like the next couple hundred years. And it's all because in a Latin version of something, the preposition and the subject couldn't be separated because of their language structure. But we don't have that same language structure, so we can do it. Yeah, it was a whole bunch of things like that. It was actually very fascinating.
Well, there's the video that I was talking about. He has a Chinese name because he speaks Chinese, amongst many, many other languages.
Okay, this is a very different guy I was thinking of, but yeah, I'll check it out sometime. But that's like a 16-minute long video.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't watch it here.
Yeah, I know this guy. Well, not personally, but he's been to my city as well and started to talk Quebecois.
That's what he does. That's his whole shtick, is going to places and speaking their language to them.
Yeah.
So he's Hoshi from Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah, except he's real and can learn languages in 5 minutes. Actually, I think he tells you how long it takes him to learn them.
I spent my whole life just in English, and I haven't even gotten that one right yet. I did try to listen and learn Spanish CDs while I was doing security for a while. I was always driving around in a patrol car, so I figured, you know what? So many times we need people who speak Spanish around here, so I just started listening to things in Spanish. Nothing stuck.
Apparently, we lost Christina.
Oh.
No!
Rob Words, that's the channel I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I've watched that one.
Yeah, his videos are pretty dang good. This guy. Can't believe I was having trouble remembering the name of his channel. I mean, Rob Words. That's
It's
not
too
very
simple.
difficult to remember. What's up, animation?
Hey, animation. We didn't lose Christy. You're okay.
She's back.
Thank goodness. Got a scare for a minute there.
Yeah, I watched his. Is English really a Germanic language? That's how I know that guy. I thought it was fascinating.
There's the link to his channel in the chat. It's worth a watch. He's got a lot of interesting things.
Yeah, that's the good side of the internet.
Wait, there's a good side?
Sort
Sure. You can learn all sorts of stuff. That was in the movie I just watched with my brother. The what's his name? The Amateur. Where you had to pick a lock, and so you watch a YouTube video on how to lock pick.
Oh, yeah.
That was everyone was laughing in the theater. We're like, yeah,
That's because YouTube has become our coach on everything now. It's like, I need to figure out how to paint without letting the streaks show. YouTube video. Oh man, I don't know how to do the alternator under this engine. YouTube video.
Kahuna, English is a mess.
You can get away with it. YouTube video.
Yeah, Kahuna, English may be a mess, but it's our mess.
It is our mess. But it's a fun mess.
Except not Frederick's. Frederick's is kind of like he has that mess in a.
He has
corner of the
two
room.
mess you got to deal with.
Yeah.
Listen,
with a French flourish.
English is my second language, and I still catch people like making horrible typos and their errors on the internet. So it's hilarious to me.
hey, I was very drunk. It's not my fault.
As someone who
There's
tends
no
to take those and
excuse.
point them out, I'm very embarrassed to realize that I still make them myself sometimes.
Oh, I make them all the time.
I don't. I'm perfect. I'm
Or
not
worse,
sorry, people.
I go to type them properly, and then the freaking phone thinks you're making the wrong one and changes it, and you don't realize it. I've had that happen too.
That's why I do not call it autocorrect. I call it autocorrupt. Kahuna says, give her a mechanical snake choker, Frederick.
Well, this is not my character, Kahuna, so she's exactly how she needs to be.
She's cool.
Careful, she's a
Yeah, she
communist.
She's still cool looking.
I'll
Well,
take a
you see,
picture.
the snake choker would be, appropriate in that.
The state. This is a Patrick
What if
Quinlan's
it was a
character,
Gadsden
Blue
snake?
Rose.
Yeah. Just give her a gas and snake, and she'll be
Or
fixed.
choke her out.
Yeah, you'll have to talk to Patrick. It's his character.
It would choke her out if he could survive the Plazrad there.
Yeah, something electric with her.
Yes, that's exactly what it's like, Christina.
What did she say?
She said, "Is that like
Go-
coitus interruptus?"
That's not good.
Kahuna
make jokes
says
about
she's used
that.
to choking.
Kahuna is wrong. She's not used to choking. She starves. So no.
Yeah, communism. Not even once.
Looking good.
That's true.
Thank you.
So you're working on that. You got some other commissions lined up. You're getting near the end of your comic book.
Yeah,
You've got a lot going on, Frederick.
Yeah, dude, like I've been turning down invitations to go have fun and drink beer with friends because I got so much. I got an art print I got to finish for Vegas next month. I got the comic 6 pages to ink, well 5 now, and this commission, and there's one that went out to Otter yesterday, so that one's done. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
What's up, James?
Hey, James, how you doing?
Hello, friends. How goes everybody? How's your day?
It's all right.
What are you today,
As well.
James? Oh, you're Badger.
Yes, for now, till I get a game going, then I'll be broadcasting that. It's hot down here, so I've been taking it easy, recovering from the holiday weekend. Finished up season 1 of Stargate Universe, the show I have not seen since it aired. My opinion is slightly higher, but not much more higher than the last time I seen it.
I don't know how you do it, man. I tried the first episode and I was bored.
Really? See, I thought 1 through 3 was pretty good. 4 and 5, I think carried it all right, and then it just hit a wall from 6 through 10, and it's definitely not well paced. The writing's okay, but it's contrived and it plays it safe, so no one's ever gonna die. So I give it about a 6 out of 10 so far, but they say season 2 picks up. It
Thanks
has
for that
its moments.
clarifications, Kahuna. Thanks.
It has its moments when it steps away from the mellow character drama and just focuses on traditional sci-fi shit. It starts to really shine, but unfortunately, there's a lot of character drama bullshit that weighs it down.
Yeah, I know. That's typical of shows, though. Even that's kind of when all that stuff started happening.
Yes,
So-
it has identity issues because it borrows heavily from the original Stargate, which is a completely different type of show, but it tries so damn much to be as serious and consequential as Battlestar Galactica because it basically ripped off the entire aesthetic down to the shaky cam. But in the end, it just has way too many balancing issues and goofy writing, really goofy writing that it tries like to take seriously, but when you just lay it all out, you're like, okay, that's kind of goofy.
Well, you're definitely not selling me on it.
Here. Well, I just want to mention again while we had more people on here that going to be, obviously we're doing tonight, going to be doing next week, and after that, Wing It's going to be taking a 1 or 2 month hiatus. And then it'll be coming back.
Very
No,
well.
you can't do it, man. You just can't do it.
You know, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I sounded like 5 minutes before I went live. That's why I'm taking a break.
Well, we can move it over to my channel if you guys
And
want.
stuff.
Well, it doesn't matter because I usually can't come on because I do D&D. I have a D&D.
Important
guy.
things. Yeah.
Yes, important things that I run at night around this time. So, like when he's off at work doing, he's got like a night shift, and we can't, schedule a time to do running there.
Yeah.
But that's when I make time to come on here. So I'm glad I got on because he's coming back tomorrow.
Nice. We're at our season finale, I guess.
But I will tell you this: it's getting back to Stargate. Forgetting that Wrangler's going away for 2 months. Getting back to Stargate. The thing is I could never get into Stargate because I saw the movie, and frankly, the series did not live up to the movie. The movie was. If you've watched the movie before the series, you get spoiled by the movie, and the series doesn't matter to you.
Some people have that opinion. Some people do, and you know what? That's art.
Yeah.
That's art
But
for you.
that's the correct opinion.
Yeah, exactly. The correct one. And you know what? Renegade for life, baby. If Stargate's wrong, I don't want to be right.
You're right.
I don't think I can disagree with that. I love the
Spoken
movie
like a
more than
true
the show.
fan. Yeah.
And the other one is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
the movie, you can't watch the TV series because the TV
Oh.
series doesn't match the movie.
That's
That's
because it
true.
has the
Oh,
best
but
death
Christy
scene ever
Swanson looks
written.
so good.
Forget Christy Swanson, man. That has the best death scene ever written. by
did.
far.
Paul Rubin.
Yeah,
Paul Rubin. Yep, Paul Rubin.
Oh.
Yeah. So what happened? Because that's supposed to be looked at as like when we see Buffy the Vampire Slayer the series taking place in was it Sunnydale or Summerdale? Sunnydale.
Sunnydale.
Yeah, we're supposed to consider the movie to be like the events that happened right before she moved to Sunnydale, right?
I've never
I
actually
don't know.
considered the canon of it. I know Joss made the movie, and it failed miserably. And he said, "No, this is a good story. We're going to make this." And so eventually, he did
I
the
got a
TV show.
kick out of the movie.
Yeah, I loved the movie.
Movie's
Yeah,
great.
but it
That
doesn't
became a
matter.
cult freaking classic.
It doesn't change the fact that it failed at the box office.
Yeah, it's a financial flop, but it happens a lot.
Yeah.
But I do remember in one of the episodes, Buffy mentioned what she was like before going to Sunnydale, and said she used to act a lot like Cordelia, which matches with the movie. But there's been a few like I don't know retcons between movie and series, I guess. Like the vampires don't fly anymore; they don't get the weird, funky pointed ears when they let their fangs out.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheaper.
We never
Probably.
actually watched that show.
That's what they do. They always change, small things like that. Same thing in Stargate. In the Stargate movie, when they went through the Stargate, they had like a type of frost on them, and then he
Yeah,
kept
it
that
was
for
cool.
a couple of episodes in the show. Then they kind of dropped it.
They're like, yeah, it's getting old.
I
We
don't
run
know.
out of frost. We don't got enough frost.
I don't know, Kahuna. I'm quickly getting to the point that maybe Joss hasn't gotten a bad rap. So,
Yeah, there's been a lot of women that come out against him.
A Hollywood man.
and
you know.
yeah, and he's said a few things that I'm just like, you really, if you want me to like your movies, you really need to shut up.
Well, that's a
Oh, I
lot of
don't
people
know.
right now.
I say that you got to be able to separate the two. I still think he's a brilliant writer and a brilliant director, but a terrible human being.
Well, trust me, people ain't doing it with me, so they ain't doing it with me. I ain't doing it with him.
True Man Blue says saying SG1 isn't better than the movie is a shit take
Oh boy. Here
and
we go.
wrong.
Here we go. Go ahead.
No, he's
Animation
right.
says it's been a long time since I've seen the movie.
I've watched all the series, and I disagree. I think the movie's better. And the show's only good until season 8. And after season 8, it's absolute garbage. And
Now
every
that's
movie that
actually
came after
saying
it,
something. That's
Yeah.
saying something. Oh, it's only good up to season 8. That's a lot of good seasons right there.
that's true.
And that's back when every season had like 20 episodes too. Now
Yeah,
you
but
get,
that's
8
like saying
episodes.
Supernatural's only good up until season 5.
That's,
Yeah,
'cause that's
but-
not true. It's not good at all. But that's a completely different thing.
Ooh.
But this is the problem that Hollywood always has. They
I'm
don't
so
know how
glad
to
we
end
have
a
so
show.
many. I'm glad we have so many experts in this chat. Thank you.
Well, we're doing the scientific theory as fact right now. That's what's going on.
Okay.
TV theory is fact.
TV theory. Yeah, I mean, I won't argue with that. I stopped watching usually around season 8. But I don't mind. I'm glad that we were spoiled with so much different type of great television and movies. And I'm also thinking about going through the made for TV Stephen King short series just to see what that's about.
Oh yeah, you'll love the Langoliers.
Oh, I already seen that one. I already seen a few of them.
With
Shoot me now. Shoot me now.
I thought it was ironic. The guy who got stuck in time was also in Quantum Leap.
Well, okay, that is funny.
No, if I'm getting
um,
rid of one, it's Doctor Who.
That's a good show, though. Quantum Leap. I really enjoyed that one when I was.
That was
I was
before
sad
my
when it
time.
ended.
No, that was a good one. I haven't watched the remake, so I can't speak to that one. But I imagine it's
Remakes?
garbage. Yeah, they remade it.
Oh Lord.
Christy points to Supernatural. Yeah, that's a good series. Most of it. It got
Yep.
dumb the last few seasons, but most shows do.
Yeah.
Couldn't even save it with what's his butt, the English guy.
I can't give an objective answer on that, Kahuna, because I always watch Star Trek. I didn't watch Doctor Who, but from what I hear, Doctor Who is kind of getting rid of itself at this point.
Yikes. The wokeness killed a lot of things. A lot of people, a lot of IPs died in the woke wars. You should just create a gigantic memorial of IPs that died.
That would be hilarious.
You should make a documentary, call it The Woke Wars.
Delete both.
Talk about each of them. And he's like, it was such a wonderful IP. Give it its own little memorial. And I, you know what? Me as a Stargate fan, I'm glad. I'm glad that Hollywood forgot it existed in movie form and television form.
The movies are garbage, though.
Well, I don't really consider those as movies as much as like extended episodes.
Yeah, that's
there's
fair.
only one real Stargate movie.
Yeah, the first one.
And
Yeah.
they haven't remade it, and that's a good thing. They haven't made a dumb extension to the show. That is also a good thing. So as a Stargate fan, I'm happy.
I heard they were, though. I heard they were
As did
redoing it.
As did I. I've been hearing that for years now. They made a short series. Most people don't know this. Stargate had its own streaming service, which is a dumb idea. And they produced their own short series released on their streaming service, and it did not do well. So yeah, I think that's where Stargate is right now. And and of course the streaming service died.
Who creates their own streaming service for just one show?
I don't know. That's pretty dumb.
Well, to be
MGM.
fair,
Okay, go ahead.
the guy who did Red Dwarf got his own freaking channel on BBC called Dave.
Wow.
So, if you're popular enough, I guess.
I guess. But like this isn't like an ongoing like series either. Like, you know, Stargate's been gone for a while now from public eye. And then it's like, hey
It's
guys.
Red Dwarf.
Yeah, that's true. We got our own channel. Did the channel only show Red Dwarf? Is that what it did?
No, because he was also on another very famous British show called Coronation Street. So it shows that as well.
Big blockbusters. The biggest blockbusters.
The IP's still strong despite it being off the air, though. Like Stargate, it's got a big fandom that still like support it.
Yeah. And you know, it's strong in the cons. And I know somebody once said a horrific thing that they wanted to remake it. The first movie with Chris Evans as O'Neill, which is terrible.
Oh no.
And Remy Malek as Daniel Jackson.
Oh no. Although I do like Malik, I think he's a good actor.
Yeah,
but no.
he's no Daniel Jackson.
No.
And imagine
She's
what
back
they-
again.
Yeah, she had to go change.
You know, somebody would call them colonizers when they get to the planet or something.
Probably, yeah.
Colonizers.
Or worse, they make O'Neill gay. Attracted men. I didn't say that out loud.
They add more of an even larger anti-gun thing in there. What was it
You
really?
run into Raw and go, oh hey.
They just make it much more. They'd make it a lot more anti-gun.
So did anybody else ever get into Farscape?
Yeah.
I watched
One of
an
my favorite
episode.
shows.
I watched an episode, but I think I just caught it at the wrong time.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely want to see the first few episodes to understand, get the feel of the place.
That's
But
what
it
I
was
felt like I
long
was
time.
missing because I was watching it and I was like, what the fuck is all this weird shit?
Yeah,
That
you know,
lady is so white.
I saw the movie and the series just did not compare.
The Peacekeeper Wars?
No, I'm. There was no freaking movie.
There is a movie. It's called The Peacekeeper
No, there
Wars.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that. I
They-
did know that.
They weren't able
And you
to
know,
do
the series
that
didn't
season,
compare.
So they did a movie to wrap it up.
So yeah, it came after because the show got canceled.
Oh,
And
well,
it
that's what
wasn't
it.
due to bad ratings either. It was due to the budget. It was just so expensive to keep that show going. They couldn't afford to anymore.
But they can do Rings of Power.
Well, I guess it depends on the they, you know.
That's a
They
vanity
pay for it.
project.
They, as in producers, probably not. They, as in they, them, yes.
I don't even remember who produced that show.
She's
been a
been
while.
I mean, I don't know if she was producer, but the lady who was in charge of that and James Bond apparently has been fired.
Oh, I heard of this.
So that's good, I guess, depending on who replaces her. Like old boss, same as the new boss thing.
Ooh,
see.
quoting the Who. I'll give you credit for that one.
We'll see.
You know, another one that had a series that went off the air and eventually did a movie was the movie was Serenity and
Oh, Firefly.
Firefly. So Firefly, yeah, that was another one where the series went off, and the fans really, really pestered Josh Whedon, and he did it. And then after that, he was never going to do another Firefly, never going to do another Serenity. And now that all the actors are older, that's of course not going to happen. But that made a lot. His pronouncement of that made a lot of people kind of upset.
Mm. Yeah, they canceled not very popular sci-fi show called Dark Angel, starring Jessica Alba.
I remember that.
Firefly.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And then they canceled Firefly.
I did not like Dark Angel.
Of course he didn't.
And I never had. I think around that time I was teaching electronics. I was teaching night
Ooh.
school electronics at some.
I never got into it either.
Vocational, and I could never get in. Well, I didn't have the time.
I
So
just remember something about barcodes.
And
back
Jessica
of
Alba and Michael Weatherly, they had barcodes on the back of their neck because it was kind of similar to the
Hitman.
Yeah,
okay.
Hitman, or you could do the Stranger Things, where it was people who were being experimented on, mutants that are being experimented on. So essentially, that's where Stranger Things got it from, is they just stole it from Dark Angel. But I thought it was a pretty good show. I've got a couple of books to finish it off.
Stranger
And I think
Things
Dark
was
Angel-
a bunch of 80s comp put together, so it doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
I think they took it from
Dark Angels is not 80s though.
the what is it? That old government project, the Meta something project, where they were experimenting with like psychic spies.
Oh, I heard of this. What the frick was it called?
It's not the stare at goats thing. It's another one that is like
Yeah.
a branch off of that or a subsidiary. Can't remember exactly what it's called.
You're talking about Majestic?
No,
No,
That's
right.
more aliens.
It's had like a K in the middle, Metacore or some shit
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Something Ultra, wasn't it?
It was around that era when they were really going in on like a dozen things at once. I got like so many books on all the different freaking crazy ass projects that were going on around that time and after. I'd have to go through my library.
He's saying something, but I can't hear it because I'm too busy watching Dune.
Uh,
Does anybody remember the Mantis?
Yes.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds
Yes.
There's one everybody forgets exists till they hear the name and they're like, oh yeah.
That was a black superhero, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yep.
I think it was early 90s, was it?
Yeah. That one, I saw a couple episodes of that, and it wasn't bad. I don't remember,
I'm gonna look
I
it
don't
up.
remember.
I don't remember it.
but I remember watching it a lot.
I think it was an exosuit he put on, right?
Yeah, or something. But I remember he had like a. I think he had
Oh,
like a mask and stuff like that.
yeah. Now that I'm seeing the.
Oh, the one with the one you were talking about. You were talking about like genetic engineering stuff. Was it Daryl XY?
Daryl XY. I
Huh.
thought Daryl XY was a. He was a.
He was a test tube baby. I'm sorry,
Yes.
that's something different.
He was a cyborg or something like that.
That's right. I remember this Mantis show because it's a Sam Raimi show.
Yeah. I said it wasn't. I don't remember it being like a bad show, but it's just that, I don't think it was on like the right time slot for me or something. I don't know.
It was only on for one season.
Probably the worst time slot.
Christy,
I
that's
don't know
Maji
if it
playing the
tells me
game.
that part. Well, then expect to see a lot of death.
Well, I am playing a game, but that's James.
Oh, that's James.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm playing Skyrim right now.
Haven't you noticed there hasn't been any dying? So
James
Maji-
also,
Usually
James
when you
also
come
goes
on,
by
you
the name
start
of
playing the
Maji.
game, so I just assumed that was you when I put it up.
No, you're good. Like I said, I'm playing Skyrim as we're talking.
James is a man of many avatars.
I am.
You never know what James you're gonna get.
I have a lot of things in general.
Are we going to be seeing the Lizard Lawyer tomorrow night?
Yeah, I usually go Lizard Lawyer.
Well,
You
we'll
know,
probably
we gotta
see
keep it.
Sandwich James before that, right?
Yes. I was a little lazy the other week when I just didn't put on any avatars, but today I just want to play a game. It's hot outside, so this is what I like to do when it's hot outside.
It's nice and cool here. I'm sitting outside on the porch.
Oh, that's lovely.
I
With
think
a
we're in
sweater
the
on.
40s here right now.
Yeah, I'm in
I
Canada.
was gonna mow the lawn today, but it was raining, so.
Canada,
Oh,
when it's
jeez.
hot, it's also cold.
It's called 2 weeks.
Let me see. It says that it is 59 degrees right now.
Or listening to a Jeff Foxworthy stand-up routine he was talking about when he had to go and do some shows up in Maine. And he said he was talking to the guys up there and said, "What do you do around here in summertime?" And the guy told him, "Well, depends on what day of the week summer happens."
Well, it's
In
not
some
supposed to
spots.
snow again, so that's good.
Yeah,
I
I've
can't
had my
imagine
fill of
Maine's
snow.
weather's too much different than ours.
Do you have
Maine.
weather? I thought you just have
Rain?
rain. Yeah, you don't have weather.
It's either warm rain or cold rain.
Exactly. And you can be walking in a nice sunny day, and then suddenly it's raining. You look up, there's not a cloud in the sky, and you go, "Where's the rain coming from?" That happened to
sounds
me in
very
Seattle.
interesting. Tell
Yeah,
me
I
more
was
about
like,
this
what the frick?
water. Tell me more about this water that falls out of the sky. What do you call it?
Yeah. Like, it's raining, but there's no clouds. Where is
Yeah,
this rain
if
coming
water
from?
falls out of the sky near you, don't open your mouth.
That only
Yeah.
happens 2 weeks out of the year down here.
How's my battery doing?
Christy, I'm going to have to fill up my bathtub with ice. Yeah, she's a polar bear.
Just be
does
careful.
not like heat.
Make sure if you wake up in it, you have a kidney.
Just one?
Hopefully more than one, but one is essential.
Count yourself lucky if you still have one.
I know.
So
it's
many
such a
bathwater.
knock-
What kind of business are you two running?
Hey, that's how what's her name made all sorts of money.
Which one?
The
Yeah.
chick that was selling her farts?
No, well, maybe she did that too. I don't know. I only know her from MXR Play, so I don't know her name.
Oh, are you
But-
talking about the woman who sold her bathwater?
Yeah, Henry's a big fan of her, so he always talked about her.
At least it's better than the one who sold her farts.
She might be one and the same for all I know.
Yeah, I think she had like problems after farting too much per week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You see the
started
doctor, and she had
eating
to
stuff
switch
just give
to.
herself gas and-
She had to
That's it.
switch.
That's
Bath
hilarious.
water.
You had to stop eating beans.
Belle Delphine,
Yeah.
that's her name.
Her whole life was centered around farting. That's not a good health choice, you know.
Yeah, not really.
But what's even more disturbing is people bought it.
It's an
Yeah,
investment,
yeah.
Maji, okay? It's going to be worth more later.
I told you she made good money doing this.
Well, you know, a lot
You know
of
what people made on the pet
pornographers
rock,
do.
man?
That's true, the pet rock.
And
It's
the
going to go up any day now, okay?
Oh my gosh.
You just
People
like
buy all
all
sorts of
them.
stupid crap.
As soon
like
as
that
Trump
thing-
legalizes selling pet rocks on the market.
By the
We're-
time they sell it,
we're
there's
in.
stuff growing on the inside of the container. Is that supposed to do that? I actually was alive when the pet rocks came out.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them in the mall. In the malls, shopping malls were like the latest thing.
Yeah. Mine died.
Your
Oh,
pet rock
Your pet rock or your mall?
I'll leave it to your imagination. I don't
My
want to-
generation's pet rock was the Neopets.
Yeah,
I remember those.
Those are
Little
terrible.
Giga Pets.
we bought a couple of those for my kids. They didn't last long.
No, Neopets.
The worst was the Tamagotchi. I mean, people had to take care of their pets during class time. It was so
Yeah.
bad.
It didn't
Damn
have
you,
an option.
Tamagotchi. Damn you.
Urusai.
Yeah, those things just look like more of a hassle than fun.
My
Oh, they came-
Tamagotchi gorged itself to death by eating its own young.
Yeah, it was emotional manipulation through technology is what it was.
They were setting us up for what was to come later. With
Exactly.
smartphones.
Yeah, it's the beta test for bringing phones into the classroom and invading our space.
Get your Tamagotchi today.
They just made that illegal in my state now.
What's that?
Tamagotchis.
You can't have phones in school in your class anymore.
Oh, that's probably for the best, to be honest.
It's for the best.
I never had one when I was in class.
Well, the funny thing is the students were like all for it. They weren't against it at all.
Oh, good.
It looks like
Yeah.
the programming is working.
I didn't have we didn't have the cell phones when I was in high school. There's just very few and far between. They were called car phones, and but I mean, so we didn't have to worry about students having phones with them. But if we got caught with a calculator, we got detention real quick.
Yeah, I
If you
remember that
wanted to
too.
get called on the go back then, you had to have like a beeper, and that usually meant that you were selling
Yeah.
drugs.
Did you get around
Or
the
you were a
calculator thing
doctor.
with the watch, Wrangler?
What was that?
Did you get around the calculator thing with the watch?
No, I didn't.
Oh, the little watch calculator.
Yeah.
I
they-
did.
they
I did
never
get
made
in
that
trouble
illegal.
for bringing a transformer into school when I was in elementary. I got in big trouble.
See, I grew up during the banned Pokemon cards.
Oh, you youngin.
See, that was coming around just as I was leaving school.
No, I was in middle school when they started to freaking blow up everything and they banned them. It's like
Didn't even
everybody's like,
Magic was exploding when I was in college.
I was so old that back when I was in middle school, it was called junior high.
I remember.
I mean,
junior
they
high.
still call it that.
You know what? Some places still do that.
Is it Hank
They-
Williams Junior High School or Hank Williams Junior High School?
Yeah, I had a junior high as well in
Yeah.
Canada.
Some places still do that. They haven't switched to the middle school thing. Now, when I was going to school,
Yeah.
calculators had just come out, and I got a welcome back Cotter calculator.
I have no room to talk, so
Did
my
it go
first-
with your lunchbox?
My
The metal
freshman
one
year in
stops?
in college, I was so excited that I found a 1 gig flash drive under $20.
I'm sorry.
But no, 1 gig was like the biggest at one point you could get.
Oh, yeah, this is back then. All right.
See, this is where Herman's gonna laugh at you.
Yeah. When I started into computers, 16K
Yep.
was like more than you
Megabytes.
could. Yeah. Actually, I think it's back more along the lines.
Then he got on the internet
No,
Yeah.
16K sounds about right.
with a 600 baud modem and a PC.
No. That was 19.2. That was 19.2 back then.
Yep, 19.2.
You were
That's
on
right.
you were on the worldwide CompuServe.
Yeah.
When you
the
got
bulletin
33.6, you were like, "Oh, we've gone up in the world."
Bulletin boards were the big deal.
Whoa.
Yep.
I heard
Legend
about
of the
that.
Red Dragon was on almost all of them.
And there was something about that whole bulletin board network. It was kind of like the secretive world that you had to like have your curated list of bulletin boards that you would go to.
Have
Well, it
a
was
great
like
night,
the-
Animation. Thanks for stopping in.
It's like the internet before all the morons came on, you know?
Yeah,
You had to you filtered people by the difficulty it took to get there.
I remember when 9600 baud was like the thing.
Yeah, but then somebody would call you and knock you offline.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your sister would pick up the phone.
Mom, I'm on the computer.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm in the middle of
call
a
your
British
brother.
Legends game, Mom.
So that was I mean, that in a lot of ways that was very cool. And then the internet came out. And the internet didn't take off for a while, but a lot of the bulletin boards flipped to websites, and they kept their bulletin board status as well. And then that eventually faded away when people actually started putting up real websites. When people started doing commerce on the internet, that kind of like all faded away.
That's when it started to not be fun, though, because then you
Yeah.
go to look for stuff, and that's when you start getting. You're looking for information. It's the information superhighway. All right, I'm going to look something up and learn. And all you get are a bunch. You type it in, and all you get is a bunch of things to buy.
Yep.
Like this, the fun is fading fast.
I'll never
Now-
forget.
Now you
I'll
can't
never-
watch a YouTube video for more than 2 minutes without a commercial popping up.
I'll never forget. I think it was PBS did like a quote deep dive on the .com bubble, and it's like I've come to conclude that almost every advancement like AI and all the other things that have gone on, everything turns into a bubble. You get the technology, and it sort of it sort of blossoms or begins to blossom, and then you get everybody attached to it trying to be the first guy on it, and that creates the bubble. And then because majority of those people are snake oil salesmen, it frickin' overloads the market, and then the bubble pops, and then you get people who come in who after the bubble bursts, you get people who come in, and those are the ones that usually stick around. So and that's happened multiple times.
So you need at least one good bubble burst to figure out who the true market is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna
And I
happen.
hear
with
the
AI.
music, so I will stop my dissertation on early internet days.
Hey,
Oh no,
that's
this isn't a
interesting.
hard stop. This is just transition time. You want to keep going for a bit, you can.
But you
I'm
have to transition into a woman as you do it. So that's the transition time music.
They call me Hegina.
Are we going back to the whole trans Hermanism thing again?
Transfer me.
Who did they mix you up with, Herman?
Oh, geez. Let me go look. Something Diane Dwayne or something like that.
Okay, so
They
I
actually
have a
put a
name.
different author's name on his book on Amazon. It was some shit.
I'm willing to become the blunt of the joke here.
Okay.
I need help. I gotta think of a writer's name.
What do you mean a writer? Oh, you mean a pen name?
Pen name.
Samantha Shane.
Do we have to have the alliteration?
Amanda Hugginkiss.
Well, okay, so
How
because
about, how
my
about
YouTube name is like a million different Maji-chans.
yeah? How about
Mike,
Even a
Margie
few
Chan?
authors. My real name, there's at least 5 authors. So yeah,
For your pseudonym, use Margie Chan.
Margie.
Margie Chan. Yeah, they will think you're Chinese, and they'll never suspect it when they see you in
Yeah,
person.
and when they find out, you'll be attacked because you're
Culturally
culturally
appropriating.
appropriating.
Oh,
You'll be
it gets
attacked
better.
by something
So
somewhere
I
anyway.
asked Grok to make me a picture based off of my username,
Yeah.
and it made me a Chinese transformer woman.
So not too far off the mark then.
A bit too spot on, actually.
I had to say former at the end to avoid any kind of dinging. Okay.
Yeah, speaking of which, I mentioned I got in trouble in elementary school for bringing a transformer in.
Oh
Can
yeah.
you guess which one I brought in?
I'm afraid to ask.
Bumblebee.
What would get me
Grimlock.
the most trouble in a school, real quick?
Oh, the Decepticon
It
leader,
was
the one that turns
Megatron.
into
Oh,
yeah,
Megatron.
Megatron. Was he loaded?
And it turns into a Luger-looking thing, really.
Yeah,
That transformation though was badass.
with the
It
scope.
really was. It made no physical sense, but it was cool.
Yeah, I didn't get it because I didn't think it scaled with the other. Like Transformers were among the worst toys in terms of scaling well together.
Yeah.
'Cause
The fans came up with a term for it. It's called mass shifting. That's why this giant robot the size of Optimus Prime could transform into a tiny little Walkman.
Interesting. Tell me more about this mass shifting.
It's smaller on the inside.
It's pretty much the equivalent of hammer space.
It happens when you put things in cold water. There will be mass shifting.
It
Oh,
was
like-
just
like
what the
that.
fan base came up with to refer to their size shift when they go from this giant thing to this little thing to this medium-sized thing, especially with Astro Train.
Astro.
He turns
too,
into a freaking space shuttle.
that can carry everyone. Yeah.
Yep, when he's the same size as everybody else normally. I mean,
Same with Grimlock. Grimlock's size doesn't make sense either.
he's Grimlock. He doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah, he just made. He's Grimlock.
That's
It's
right.
like- He's a T-Rex robot that transforms. What more do you want in life?
Me Grimlock kicks butt.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever want to, speaking of Transformers, Brian Shearer, I think it's called Shearer Town, the Discord, but Brian Shearer is one of the artists on the Transformers comics and the G.I. Joe comics.
Oh,
So, and he does have a Discord channel called Shearer Town.
yeah, they're making a lot of waves right now. Like I hear it's a good comic.
Now, you once told me about a
he-
Transformers artist who did his own thing called Gunship Thunder Punch.
Yeah, and that's the same guy.
Okay, I went on Google looking for where I could find that comic. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, he's it's already in fulfillment. He's like, I think he's about ready to start sending stuff out.
Oh, I
So-
thought this was something that came out a while ago and was no longer available.
No, it was a Indiegogo, and it got fulfilled a long time ago, but life came up, and he's finally got it all inked and colored, and I think he's waiting for the printing to come back. So I could be wrong on that one. I've been a little busy and haven't kept up on all my Discord channels. So
Understood.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, if that does become available, I would like to check that out. And I loved that website you sent me to where it
Yeah.
showed all his artwork of the G1 Transformers.
yeah,
Perfectly on model. I'm like, all right, this guy knows what he's drawing when it comes to Transformers and bots.
yep. So, but yeah, it's Shearer. I think it's called Shearer Town. Let me look it up here real quick. Yeah, Shearer Town. SHEARER space town. So, and he's one of the guys, one of the artists who's done like I said, GI Joe and Transformers. And he's a very deadpan humor sort of guy, and it's a really good Discord channel. Lots of personalities in there.
Cool. Well, is there anything anybody else wants to touch on before we wrap this up?
No, outside of my book is inaudible. Finally, but go ahead.
I do have some good news.
And
We
what's
have
that?
finished up the writing drafts. We are now on the final.
Oh, nice.
We're-
You know,
we're-
I'm getting a copy of that when that comes out.
Yeah, it's still ways away, but I have a finish line in sight.
Yeah. Now it's all fine tuning and stuff.
Yep.
I might add something as well. I mentioned it earlier, but I'll be on Iron Seas tomorrow. And you can join me and the usual crew on Proof of Comics right before. It will be a shorter show, but will be like the Iron Seas pre-stream tomorrow. So do check that out.
All right. Does that mean Proof of Comics will be ending a half hour early, or are you going to kind of do overlap on both at the same time for a bit?
Well, the only way I could do overlap is if Billy Bob was on as an admin, but unless I switch the admin position and give it to somebody else, I'm open to it. If somebody wants to take it in overlap and keep the stream going, otherwise I'll be closing shop and heading over there. We'll see.
All right. James.
Hello, everybody. I just recently released a short story for my subscribers, the second installment of my series of short stories that are going to be serialized called The Villain. This is episode 2, and everybody's going to get that one for free on the 1st, and it was actually edited by our own Gino here. He's helping me out editing a bunch of these. We have plenty of stories already done, ready to go, and I'm hopefully going to be able to release them 2 stories a month. So look, keep your eyes open for that at worldwithoutendlore.substack.com.
We'll fix it in post. We'll fix it in post, James. Don't worry about it.
There you go.
Gino.
I got nothing right now except for a warning on my laptop saying the battery is low.
Oh.
It lies. Lies. All lies.
How long have I been out here?
So it is Daniel's birthday, so I'm gonna shut him out.
Whimsyland.
Shout him out. Check out Whimsyland. I think it's just whimsyland.com. Anyway, Daniel P. Riley. He also hosts right now. He's currently hosting the Iron Age Nights podcast, trying to keep that afloat. But if you need coaching or any kind of editing questions, stuff like that, feel free to look him up. He's really good at what he does. He might actually give me a writing card by the time this is all over with. But
It's also his birthday.
I highly recommend him. I would definitely use him again for other projects, especially him and Gino both are phenomenal editors. So definitely check him out. And obviously Gino's kind of saved my butt on this project a few times. So yeah, check them both out if you guys have any writing questions, stuff like that, or just want to shoot some ideas and make an outline that's solid. I am terrible at shilling, sorry.
Oh, you did fine. Just like this guy, Herman.
Hey, buy my book.
See? Was that
I
difficult?
thought you were going to go with buy my audiobook tonight.
Yeah, buy my audiobook. Say thanks for that, man. Forgot all about that.
I was gonna say I already bought your book.
Frederick.
So buy Herman's audiobook and imakecomics.com. I'll take you to retailcomic.com where you can see the progress of my comic book, which is got 5 pages left to ink. My colorist has got 4 done right now. I'm going to send him another batch tomorrow. So things are coming along nice and slow, and it's probably going to be out this summer. We'll see. I'll keep you guys all in the loop. And that's it.
Looping it up.
Check it out.
And I'm going to highlight Christie's comment with absolutely zero context. I like to touch lots of things.
Yeah, that's creepy, Christina. Seriously.
Less context means it's more fun.
Exactly.
Creepy, sexy, I don't know. There's a fine line.
Yes.
When a chick does it, it's sexy. When a dude does it, it's creepy.
Oh, that's fair.
Correct.
All right, you can find my books on Amazon, Haley Star Bad Kitty and Bad Kitty Haley's World. Magic fueled sci-fi adventure, fun for all ages. And you could also find me on Substack under Frequency Studios. Also on the X, Twitter, Truth, Blue Sky, and Minds. Although I will admit my social media engagement has been, lacking. I do need to get on there a little more often. But I do.
Probably means you have a life,
Studios. No, I go on there to start doing stuff, and then I see Grok, and I start asking it dumb questions like, what would happen if I took a bag of popcorn and a mirror, looked in the mirror and said, Candyman 3 times, and when Candyman approaches me, I shove a handful of popcorn in my mouth, chew it up, swallow, look at him dead in the eye, smile, and say, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And he gave me a whole scenario.
I mean, that's what Grok is for.
Waste of time. But anyway, yeah, you can catch my stuff on Amazon. All their links should be in the description, and you'll see at least a few of us on Frederick's stream tomorrow night, Iron Seas tomorrow night, and don't forget Terran Tuesdays with James Black Knight and RH Snow. That starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. Frederick's show starts at 8, Iron Seas at 9:30. So it's going to be a whole lineup. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us tonight. It was a good time. If you enjoyed this presentation, hit the like, and if you didn't, we appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time, and God bless.
Woo!
Woo-hoo!
Bye.
See ya.
We will be back next week.
Promise.
But not the week after that. It'll be a few weeks after that before we return. But yeah.
I might not.
Might be having a little more structure when it comes back. I don't know. It depends on how much I don't want to be lazy.
Somehow, Weekly Wing It returned.
And will I still, if I bring it back with more structure, can I rightly call it Wing It anymore? I probably will anyway.
The Weekly Right Wing It.
I don't know if you want to. That might not be a crowd you want to draw.
Christy, don't give that comment any context. It destroys all our imaginations. You know it's coming. You know it is.
Jewish space laser.
Oh, yes.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Right.